This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everybody. It's been said that we have psychic ability. All of us. We're intuitive. We can detect things, feel things, maybe look toward the future. We don't even know we have it, half of us, because we're not tuned into it. We're glad you're tuning in today. We're going to talk with somebody who has elevated her level to help others connect to the other side. And we're going to talk a little bit about how we can find that within ourselves. Stacy, the psychic medium, joins us once again on the program. How is everything going in your world today?
Pretty well, and thank you for having me. I appreciate it. So
Hey, thanks for being back.
It's going
here.
Okay.
Yeah,
thank you for having me.
You've given us a lot of insight in the past in terms of how you work, the process, what you see, what you feel when you connect with the other side. Side note, you've worked with law enforcement to uncover certain things along the way. So legit stuff we're talking about here. Do we all have some psychic ability to some extent?
Oh, clearly, we're all born with it. It's just that society, a lot of entities, organizations, teach us otherwise, to ignore that, to shut it down, to have fear, ignorance. And like I've stated before earlier, it's intentional. It's to keep you in that matrix. It's to keep you off your path, usually, not on. People that are tapped in is what we call it. They're aligning themselves with what they're truly here to do. And if they're truly tapped in, they're not going to ignore it. They're going to trust. And it's called having faith. And that's not just a religious term. It's a spiritual, it's a connectiveness that we all have, universally speaking. But once you tap into that, and once you're on your journey and path, and usually it requires sometimes what they call blind faith, and continuing on, you'll get a lot of people that try to sway you the other ways. You'll get a lot of people who, some intentionally, some unintentionally, dissuade you from on your true path and your true calling.
Why is that happening? Why do things present themselves to prevent us from figuring this stuff out?
That could be a series of a mini podcast. We'd have to go on that one for. There's a lot of different reasons for that. And for more sinister, darker reasons, that's to keep people off their journey. If we were all tapped in, a lot of what's going on today would not occur. A lot of what is happening and the illusions that are put up would not be occurring. So if people are in their true essence of who they are and what they're meant to do here, a lot of what's going on that's much darker would not occur, would not be happening. That's all there is to it. If you're on your true path and you're in a higher frequency, you're aligning with things that are meant of, as we call, the light. And if you're on your true calling, you're going to be able to filter out all the noise and filter out what's not for you and filter out what we call more negative aspects of our world.
What you're saying is that when you say true calling, is that your purpose in life? Would we define it that way?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. It's your authenticity. I always say, and I also, my other passion is I like to film music and live music, and I've always been tapped in this when I was younger. And as we know, music can bring all of us together in a good way. Sometimes some music is not, but most music is higher vibrating.
Yeah.
And it seems to join everyone, all races, ethnicity, genders. I mean, it can definitely bring people together.
Let's
And I film music.
let's talk about that.
Hmm.
When you say film music, what do you mean?
I usually just I go to live music. I'm pretty tapped into a lot of the musicians, Lincoln, Omaha, um, around the country, that live. So I film with my phone, with my a tablet, which is a little bit bigger and encompasses more of it. But go there and film live, and try to get them in. Some occasionally they'll talk. Sometimes I get a lot of people that are just hams that want to talk, but they know I have a live channel, and they know also that I'm a psychic medium. Um, but it's I join the two because I feel like that not only what I do as a psychic medium, you tap into that essence, you tap into that true authenticity, music that can bring people together. I feel like what I do and my purpose, I bring people together and I try to uplift them. And usually most music is here to uplift. It's here to bring people together. Um, not always, but for the most part it is. And it's any form of artistry, is definitely, it joins people together.
I get you, and I guess it's why they say music is the universal language. When I was
Yes.
younger, I didn't have the same passion as I have now for going to see live music. And now I would say minimum once a week I'll see a band, tribute band, cover band, concert, sometimes multiple times in a week. So we're on the same
Right.
page there. And once you go to see live music and start feeling the vibration, there's something going on there where it is a
Yeah.
higher vibration. It's almost like it's a magnet pulling people together because you're experiencing something all at the same time. It's magical. I can't even I can't even put words to it, but there's something there. But I think I finally figured it out, like maybe you did a long, long time ago.
Yeah, I don't know, it can touch your soul. It can bring out the best in people, and depending on the type of music, if it's lower vibrating frequency, it can also bring out the worst, but usually it brings out the best. And and it can bring people together that likewise may not be together. But it can also, individually speaking, it could touch your soul on a variety of ways. It
Hmm.
can make you feel good, uh, just tap into your heart space and memories of good things, sometimes not so, but connectiveness. I when I'm hearing spirit, if you will, if I'm connecting in with the divine and others that have crossed over, a lot of times songs are what, and I'll know that their presence in different ways. And one of them is songs, and I'll know they're here. And it also is my indication of things going on, things happening, and what have you. But sometimes when I'm going and filming, I'm just there, present in the moment
Mm-hmm.
and feeling it,
You know,
which is nice.
you said the magic words in the moment because when you're experiencing a live performance, it's now. You're not thinking about, aside from, I wonder if they're going to play that song. Yeah, all right, maybe that's you thinking to the future in a way, but you're present in the moment. And I want to really find this out. Do you get downloads of music, messages coming from songs and or lyrics based on what you do?
Occasionally, yes, I
Yeah.
do. And I uh, and basically confirmation as well.
Mm-hmm.
And um, I'll get confirmation on, no, I just remember the other day getting a confirmation of a question I had, and I put it out there, and I got the answer fairly quickly.
I want to share with you
So,
just because you said that. This is you're thinking what I'm thinking. It's the weirdest thing, but it was about it. No surprise. It was a year ago. I'm driving here. It's about maybe 8:30, 9:30 in the morning. And I'm at a light about a mile and a half away. And I was thinking about a situation, family situation. And I know there's an answer, but I can't figure out the answer. I don't know why. What's going on here? I stop at the stop sign, and dropping in my mind was Let It Be by the Beatles. And I keep hearing there will be an answer. Let it be, let it be. I'm like, it's weird. I drive here again, a mile and a half away, walk through that door, come right here. Phone rings, pick it up. It was the answer. And then I look a little bit deeper, and I don't know if I'm looking too deep, but I'll get when I throw things out there. My mom throws me signs. I've spoken of that before. And the beginning of the song, it says, "Mother Mary comes to me."
right.
My mom's name was Rose Mary, and I always thought that that was in that song a biblical reference. But as I learned, it's not. It was Paul McCartney's mom whose name was Mary. So,
Yep. Yes.
and I now have those lyrics on the wall in the other room. And that was just one time of where a song popped into my mind and revealed something. So because I'm music connected, I play music on the radio. In fact, after we're off today, I'll be doing tracks for a radio show that includes music, with that music log sitting over there. Um, I, I I communicate in music, so I think that that's why I get those downloads, and it sounds like you're getting them too.
Oh, yes. Oh, very much so. Well, and
Hmm.
I moved around fairly frequently. I grew up um, Boeing company. Mm, Parents, father worked for Boeing out of Seattle, and so we moved a lot. And missed my childhood, and then of course, I've moved. I've gotten older, and but songs I would equate where we were at, what time, yeah, and so I automatically connect. But it's very connecting. It's very soul, and you also, as we all know, a hallmark of a good song is when you can connect on a much deeper level, on a soul level. You
Hmm.
feel it and you
Kind of,
know it.
kind of magical. Kind of magical. What's going on there? And all right, so for us, we get those. Call them signs, whatever they are. Um, do you feel that we all can get them if we just open up our mind and we're open to it? To any kind of sign, not just
Yeah.
music.
Yes, yes, she can. And once again, though, we're taught to ignore it. We're taught that, um, on one hand, it's of the devil, it's of evil, and it's like, no, it is not. We are all born with that. We are taught that to not to tap in. We are taught that to ignore who we truly are. It's intentional. It's to keep us away from our true destiny.
Hmm.
And but we can all tap into that, like a mother's intuition of their child. Even if you're a distance from them, you know if something has happened and it's bad. You know it if you're connected with anyone truly on a soul level. You'll know when something's wrong. Right. Now, some of us just take it up a few notches. I just remember from, like I said, at the early ages of 4, 5, knowing, seeing things that, being constantly told to shut up because
Hmm.
usually because I knew what I was taught, they wanted me to shut up because I knew what I was talking about. And a little shocking coming out of a 4 or 5-year old's mouth. But uh, and that unfortunately the world we live in. Truth
Mm,
tellers, as I call it, people who are speaking the truth. A lot of sometimes horrific things can be done to truth tellers, people that are speaking out about things that are the truth, and tapping into that.
mm.
But we're told to be quiet. We're told to, that you're crazy and saying, I'm thinking, gee, and the amount of times I could count on my hand, and that's usually the people closest to you that can do that. But then you have to remember where that's coming from. You have to remember that people, there are other hidden motives, hidden reasons, and not always. Some of it is it's to do with their own insecurities. It's to do with um, their lack of knowledge and fear. And then the rest of it, sometimes they're hiding. If they know, they discount you, they, gaslight you, which
Mm.
has become the word of choice nowadays. And uh, but there's hidden motives for that. And people that are truly tapped in and psychically inclined, oh yeah, they would be a threat. But and then not everybody feels that way. And it's more curiosity. They want to know more. The skepticism, and I always say it's healthy skepticism. It is a-okay to question things. You should. When you stop doing that, then there's something wrong.
Mm. I,
But
I agree.
you
Why not?
you need you need to question to a certain extent. That's also a way of keeping yourself safe and aware. But then again, you have to have its discernment. You have to allow it to flow. We always have to be in the state of flow where energy goes. And you have to balance that out with discernment, with as far as head, heart space. And, I love the quote of Albert Einstein: the intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant, but it has forgotten the gift,
Mm.
which to me really explains a lot. But
I'm
usually it's a few.
I agree with you on the questioning things, and I'm wondering for somebody like you, do you question? Are you questioning? Let's say something comes through in a reading that you're doing for somebody. Do you look at it and say, "Well, wait a minute, can that actually be the way it's coming
Um,
through?"
yes and no. I used to do that a little bit more. Anymore, so I just say, this is what I'm getting in. Yesterday, I was getting a ride in an Uber, and I'm getting this message in terracotta. And then what happens is a lot of times it'll catch people off guard, and then they'll find out later, oh, yeah, I remember what that, and they'll remember what it was, or yeah, or else they'll say, oh my God, we were just discussing that in a conversation, or that sort of thing. But sometimes it doesn't make sense at the time, but it does later.
Mm.
And sometimes it's right away, and sometimes it takes a while. And I'll have
Great
people that
point. That's a great
have
point you
come
bring
back.
up. Like if we need to be more aware and cognizant of these things that come up because they may look insignificant, but then when you
Right.
start putting the pieces together, you might see something with terracotta, and then later in the day or the following day, it comes up again, and there's a message
Right.
there somehow. Clarity.
Yes. Yep. And I'll get an odd messages. I'll like, I do also remote viewing. But I also try to ask permission. That's a real gray area. There, you
Mm.
have to be careful about that. I try to ask people's permission before I go in to do that. Um, Unless asked to, somebody's asking me to do it, or I ask permission.
Mm.
I do not want to violate any spiritual boundaries that way,
Sure.
which can also get you into trouble.
How do
But
we find
yeah,
you? If this is connecting with somebody, maybe they want to get a reading, or maybe they just want to pick your brain on figuring this all out, how they make connection. Best way to find you.
well,
How is that, Stacy?
okay, stacythepsychicmedium.com and on Instagram, and on you can also get me on Facebook as well. Occasionally I'm on YouTube as well as TikTok, but Instagram is where I'm combining the music and what I do as a psychic medium. So you can just message me there
Very
and get a
cool.
hold of me.
Awesome. I wish you were around these parts, or I was around where you are, so we could see the same band at the same time.
That Yeah, oh, phenomenal. I know.
Yeah, it never gets old. It just never gets old. It's like I could see the
Does not.
same bands, know the next songs that are coming up, but it's always different. They always play them differently, different energy in the room and all of that. Love your energy. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm so grateful and honored.
Likewise.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.